Janet Jackson and Wissam Al-Mana. Janet Jackson was and still is the woman that most men wish they had a chance to date. She may be soft-spoken but has had her share of sexy moments. When she disappeared 6 years ago, it wasn't because she was grieving her late brother Michael Jackson or that she became uninspired to make new music. If you haven't heard by now, Janet Jackson is married to a handsome billionaire businessman by the name of Wissam Al-Mana. He is the executive director of a successful conglomerate in Qatar that operates Nissan, Infiniti, and National Car Rental. Additionally, Wissam is also a stakeholder of Qatar's Saks Fifth Avenue. Much like many men around the world, he calls Janet Jackson his dream woman. Christy Hinsey and Jim Clark. The gorgeous Australian model Christy Hinsey is married to the founder of Netscape. In addition to her long legs walking the runway, she is an actress that landed a modeling gig posing in sexy clothing in Victoria's Secret catalogs. Despite the massive amount of wealth the two share, people are only human, and arguments are bound to happen. Christy was caught in between an explosive argument in St. Bart's last spring with her husband and Ken Reeder, the owner of Comanche, who is one of the top wealthy sailors in the world. The reason for the fight is unknown, but it became so bad that Christy decided to leave the island without her husband, Katsia Zingarovich and Anton Zingarovich. Another top model that made the list is Katsia Zingarovich. She was given a business card by a modeling agent in a cafe in Russia when she was a little girl, and although she was uninterested in pursuing a modeling career, her mother was the person that convinced her that it would be worthwhile, and it was. When she was single and ready to mingle in 2009, Katsia dated Emil Mpenza, who was a soccer player at that time for Plymouth Argyle in England. The two had a stormy relationship, and it quickly ended that year. Right before she met her husband Anton in 2010, she became a Victoria's Secret angel and was clearly finding success in her career. Miss Ukraine Universe Alexandra Nikolayenko and Phil Ruffin. If there were one wish a single 81-year-old man would ask for, it is likely that he would want a young and beautiful wife. Philip Ruffin is a billion-dollar owner of casinos, oil production companies, real estate, and Greyhound racetracks in Las Vegas. He is worth $2.4 billion. And the lucky man is married to a model and actress from the Ukraine named Alexandra Nikolayenko, Dasha Zhukova, and Roman Abramovich. Chelsea Clinton isn't the only well-off friend of Ivanka Trump that we know. Dasha Zhukova is with Roman Abramovich, who is one of the richest men in Russia with a net worth of $8.5 billion according to Forbes. The two kept their marriage a secret for the first 6 years of harmonious matrimony. In the winter of 2014, the Wall Street Journal published an article stating they met in 2005 and were married a few years later. Dasha is a magazine editor for Garage and attended Donald Trump's inauguration events after being invited by Ivanka. Dasha's husband is an owner of Evraz, which is a steel-making company in London, as well as being the owner of the Chelsea soccer team. In 2014, Dasha was also caught in a scandal after being in a photo shoot, which involved sitting on a black woman that was positioned as a chair for a Russian fashion magazine called Buro 24/7. Both Dasha and the publication were considered racists, but she later published a statement stating this photograph, which has been published completely out of context. Devon Aoki and James Bailey. Do you remember the cute Japanese model in Too Fast Too Furious? Well, her name is Devon Aoki, and although she is a successful model that acted in the hit movies Sin City and Mutant Chronicles, when a billionaire named James Bailey pursued her, she couldn't resist. James Bailey is a hedge fund billionaire that chooses to work as a business analyst for TA Associates. Here are a few interesting facts about Devon Aoki. She had a cameo in the previous Black Eyed Peas member Fergie's MILK music video with Kim Kardashian, Alessandra Ambrosio, Randy B. Singer Sierra, and Chrissy Teigen. Despite the runway industry standard that models need to be at least 5 feet 9 inches, Aoki is only 5 feet 6 inches in height. While she lives in billionaire lifestyle, she hit the runway for a Moschino show in Los Angeles in 2016. Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. Real estate mogul Donald Trump. But the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree when it comes to the man she married. Much like her father, Ivanka's husband, Jared Kushner is a billionaire real estate investor, the publisher of the New York Observer, and is the senior advisor on Donald's team. Ivanka might be teased in the US because of her father, but in Japan, she has become a big hit because they believe she has it all. Owning a successful business, a wealthy husband, and a father that became a president. While we are familiar with seeing her in conservative clothing, in 2006, she modeled in a few revealing outfits for Stuff magazine. After she had met Jared, she walked away from the socialite lifestyle and her modeling career. Prior to getting hitched to Jared, she dated Lance Armstrong and James Bingola Gubelman, who is the guitarist for the group Maroon 5. More recently, After her father banned the entry of foreign nationals from some countries for up to 90 days, Ivanka posted a fancy photo of herself and Jared in an expensive gown. She is now getting flack from social media users for being insensitive to the immigration controversy because of her father's presidential decision. Fabiana Flazzi and Bernie Ecclestone. 38-year-old Fabiana Flazzi is married to an 86-year-old billionaire named Bernie Ecclestone. Bernie owns a group of companies that include the FIA Formula One World Championship. He worked for the company for 40 years and eventually acquired rights to the organization. One of the couple's most expensive purchases is a £24 million chalet in Gstaad, Switzerland. Their daughter Tamara owns a mansion in London that has 57 rooms, and she mentioned that she only occupies 4 of the rooms in her house. While this is no laughing matter, in August 2016 Fabiana's mother was kidnapped. The police were hunting down a man that threatened to murder her mother after sending Fabiana a gruesome video in the mail of a woman beheaded. The kidnappers requested 8 days for Fabiana and her billionaire husband to send £28 million in ransom. Kirsty and Ernesto Bertarelli. Kirsty Bertarelli is happily married to Ernesto Bertarelli, who in 2014 had his family ranked as the 5th wealthiest in the UK based on the Sunday Times Rich list. He was born into wealth because his grandfather passed down a pharmaceutical company in Switzerland called Serrano in 1996. Between 1996 to 2006, Serrano went from an $809 million business to $2.8 billion. Although his business dealings were lucrative, Ernesto eventually sold the company in 2006. Christy is no commoner. Her family is the owner of a manufacturing company of ceramic products, Syndica Dokolo and Isabel dos Santos. Syndica Dokolo is a half-Danish and Congolese man whose father is a millionaire. If you Google him and his wife Isabel dos Santos, they have partied with Kim Kardashian, Bella Hadid, and comedian Chris Tucker, to name a few. Nicki Minaj was under the spotlight in 2015 after she accepted a significant amount of money to perform for Isabel dos Santos, whose father is an Angolan dictator named President José Eduardo dos Santos. In an Instagram photo, Nicki Minaj did not hide her music business affiliation despite the backlash and posted, "She's just the 8th richest woman in the world. At least that's what I was told by someone before we took this photo. Girl power. This motivates me so much." Nonetheless, Isabel is the second richest African woman with a net worth of $3 billion US dollars. Elaine Andre Jansen and Eduardo Saverin. The beautiful Elaine Andre Jansen is married to Eduardo Saverin, who is a previous employee of Facebook. He is the 188th billionaire in the world, the 10th richest Latin American billionaire, and is one of the youngest men on the list. In 2015, he owned up to 53 million shares of the social media empire Facebook, which is 0.4% of all the outstanding shares. Additionally, Eduardo also invested in the startup companies called Jumio and Quickie. Alexandra and Andrei Melnichenko. Alexandra Melnichenko was a part of a pop group in the 1990s when she was 17 years old in Serbia called Models. The group managed to complete several albums during the 5-year term of their music group. After the team parted, she, in fact, became a fashion model that posed for advertising campaigns and landed television gigs in Barcelona and Milan. Her husband paid Jennifer Lopez $2 million to perform at Alexandra's 30th birthday, and during their wedding, the sultry Christina Aguilera and Whitney Houston performed. The two vacate on a £330 million supersized yacht named the Mammoth Vessel, which just so happens to be one of the biggest ships on the planet. Alexandra may gorgeous, but she also has some edge to her. Allison Williams and Ricky Van Veen. If you watch the HBO hit show Girls, you might remember seeing Allison Williams as the character Marnie Michaels. Her father is the NBC News chief anchor Brian Douglas Williams, and her career has also seen her work as a voice actress for The Simpsons. Allison is married to one of the co-founders of the college humor website named Ricky Van Veen. To add to his resume, Ricky is a principal owner of Connected Ventures that developed Vimeo and is the CEO of a company called Notional that owns the television rights to the Food Network's show Chopped. One might think that with the help of her father in the entertainment business and a billionaire husband, she would kick her feet up and relax. To the contrary, she is currently funding medical research for a cure to end cancer. Sean Parker and Alexandra Linas. Another tech mogul I wanted to share is Sean Parker, who is the co-founder of Napster, a company he started at 19 years old, and was the first president of Facebook. He may not be Warren Buffett, but Forbes added him as the 722nd billionaire in the world. While there is not a lot of information on Alexandra, she is an under-the-radar songwriter and singer. Sean Parker isn't ashamed of Alexandra because she is right by his side when they party with New York socialite Alexa Winter and rapper Snoop Dogg. For Halloween in 2011, she and Sean dressed up as Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. According to the New York Post in 2010, Kim Kardashian tried flirting with Sean at a party while Alexandra was there by his side as a date. Despite other women trying to hit on him, it is evident that he knows he has a good thing because Jade Foray and Arnaud Lagardère. The first lady on the list is the strikingly exotic Belgian model Jade Foray. Before she got married to Arnaud Lagardère, she landed a modeling contract at the age of 12, and her career went uphill after appearing in a Levi's poster on top of a 33-story building called Madou Plaza Tower in Belgium. Arnaud is the CEO of MMB, a multi-billion-dollar media company. One of his most lucrative projects was acquiring Warner Books, which was once owned by Time Warner Brothers in 2006. When they first met, Arnaud would publicly tell the media how much he adored her. The two got caught in a whirlwind of controversy when a personal interview of the two filmed getting too close during a photo shoot with Elle Soir magazine ended up on YouTube. The French media believed it was a publicity stunt because they only knew each other for 6 months.